We are in the midst of a plastic boat revolution, or maybe an evolution. Regardless, there's a huge transition to polyethylene boats. And of course, I bought this boat here just so that I could use it as a prop for this video. Recently, I put out a video where I was talking about how you could not get 10 and 12-foot aluminum boats anymore. The comments section of that video blew up because there were a lot of comments about politics, world events, and people arguing with me saying, no, I can find aluminum boats where I'm at. But one of the biggest factors is the fact that people just are not buying small aluminum boats anymore. They're just not. Because when I look at something like this Bass Pro Shop circular that came in my mailbox the other day, and they talk about the Fishing Classic, they're showing a plastic kayak. They're showing another plastic kayak. And then they're finally showing an aluminum boat, which is a $15,000 bass tracker boat. Nice boat, don't get me wrong, but it's $15,000. And then a $17,000 pontoon boat. The cheap boats that they're selling are the plastic kayaks, the individual boats. And that's what's changed. That's the huge thing that's different now from years ago. When people are looking for their first boat or a small cheap boat, they're not thinking about a 10 or 12 foot aluminum boat anymore. They're looking at a kayak or a small plastic boat. One of my other recent videos was talking about the cheapest boats that you can buy in 2023. They are all plastic boats. Those are the cheapest boats you can buy. And here's another example for you. Tiny Boat Nation, who outfit and do all kinds of customization for small boats. They do some really great work. I'm sure some of you have probably seen their work. They do a lot of amazing stuff. Some of their recent videos have been working with plastic boats. They've started modifying and working on some small plastic boats. They may prefer to work with aluminum because it may be their wheelhouse and what they like to do and what a lot of their customers like. But they realize that people are also buying plastic boats, and there is a market for that, and there are people who want their plastic boats modified. Plastic boats are becoming the choice of the consumer. Aluminum boats haven't always been there. And for many of us, yes, they've been there our whole lifetime, but they haven't always been there. At the end of World War II, when GIs came home and we stopped manufacturing all the planes and everything else that we were making for World War II, we now had supplies of aluminum sheeting. And we had people who knew how to rivet and work with aluminum. Ramping up small aluminum boat manufacturing was kind of a no-brainer because we were already producing a lot of aluminum for the war effort. Before World War II, the primary choice for small boats was wood construction. If you were a young guy in 1950 and you had just bought your aluminum boat, all the older guys would talk about how those things were garbage, that they all had wooden boats, and that's probably what you should have, is a wooden boat. That's a proper boat. I know some of you have some very different opinions, and you're welcome to post those in the comments below, but there is nobody forcing us to buy plastic boats. The market is shifting in that direction. And I don't think it's just shifting in that direction for political reasons or because governments are pushing us that way. For about $1,000, you can still get a small aluminum boat, and for $1,000, you can get a nice plastic fishing kayak. And quite frankly, more people are buying small plastic fishing kayaks because they like that idea better. And I think part of the reason they like that idea better is younger fishing people, it's not their grandfather's aluminum boat. Just like in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, people didn't ride around in their grandfather's wooden boats. Yes, some do for sentimental reasons, and I get that. And the nice thing is old aluminum boats that are sitting in people's backyards, many of them will probably be around 30, 40, 50 years from now. So people can still enjoy their grandfather's or great-grandfather's aluminum boat for a long time. But I also have a set of plastic kayaks in my shed. And I'll probably be enjoying those for the next 20 years as well, because as long as I keep them in the shed and just take them out when I'm using them, I think they're going to last a very long time. And they were just a little over $100 a piece brand new. You're not buying an aluminum boat for $100 brand new. But once again, we're not forced to buy plastic boats. The reality is there's going to be more plastic in our boats, whether they're big or small, just like with our cars. And for those of you who are complaining because they're not going to make aluminum boats anymore and you're really frustrated about that, Ford Motor Company pretty much doesn't make cars anymore except for the Mustang. And you know why? It's not because they're forcing us to buy SUVs. It's because people aren't buying those cars. They weren't going to continue making the Ford Crown Victoria forever just because 1,000 old dudes wanted to buy one. People aren't buying four-door sedans anymore. They're buying SUVs and trucks. And so Ford has focused their efforts that way. Now, doesn't mean that we'll never be able to get a small aluminum boat, but their availability is probably going to keep shrinking as more and more people go plastic. You can actually now buy fishing jet skis. So this is a jet ski where it has places for rod holders and your fishing gear and tackle boxes on the jet ski from the factory, or a really awesome fishing kayak. And some of those fishing kayaks are fantastic. They make pedal ones, and they've got a little electric trolling motor on it, got rod holders and mounts for all of their equipment. More and more customers are gravitating towards those products than towards 10 and 12 and 14-foot aluminum boats. So it's not really cheaper than an aluminum boat, but people are buying these over small aluminum boats because they like that option better. So while your next boat might not be plastic, a lot of people's next boat or first boat is going to be plastic. And that's just the way things are going. There's going to be more plastic boats out there. I don't think we'll ever be seeing 30 or 40-foot plastic boats in our lifetime. I think fiberglass will continue to be the hull of choice. And there may be a day in the future, just like how my father eventually could not buy some of his favorite products at the grocery store because he was the last guy around buying those products. We may not be able to buy some of those things new that we would like to have bought before. As tastes change, the availability of that stuff changes. It's like buying small wooden boats. You can't really buy many small wooden boats anymore, or if you do, they're very expensive. Or you have to build it yourself. But that's for another video. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out this video here next. I think it's relevant for you. It was picked just for you, so watch that video.